Stay out of the water and leave now if you're under an evacuation order. That's the message from emergency officials in coastal North Carolina. As Hurricane Erin churns off the East Coast right now, that region is expected to feel more effects as soon as tonight. Those effects then move north, but the storm still not expected to make landfall. This is out in the Atlantic. Hatteras Island, though, already seeing water in the streets, with locals bracing for 40-mile-an-hour winds and 20-foot waves.
And we know it can be intense. We have Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy tonight. And Alana, we know this is one to watch, too.
Yeah, Category 2. And even though it's not making landfall, the impacts will be felt far and wide. The Outer Banks, when it comes down to it, starting to see the rip currents. We're talking about destructive waves. They could see some coastal flooding as you look at this storm on the infrared satellite here. You can just tell how large it really is. Those outer rain bands are expected to hit the coast. You could see some scattered storms as a result. The storm surge from this as it hits the Carolinas, North Carolina, 2 to 4 feet is the forecast. We're going to watch as it continues to pull. Now, again, not making landfall north. And as it does, we could see the wind field expand. So places like the East Coast could get some gusty winds. Those coastal areas and the beach could see erosion. Tropical season. Live view from Tooele. Look at that cloud cover. Boy, did that fill in quickly. A little more moisture closer to home. We're talking about storm potential here. But first, we've got to battle the heat. Above average temperatures, that dome of heat with high pressure in the four corners really bringing in the warmer air, and also that southerly flow with warmer air bringing in the cloud cover with some moisture, and a few pop-up storms are possible heading into this evening. Most likely dry thunderstorms with gusty outflow winds and some lightning out there. But just know that could happen in the West Desert. We just saw it over Bear Lake. Live view from our Black Desert Sky Cam as they're sitting at 107. In St. George, it's 105. 99 in Salt Lake. We could sneak out a triple digit here, depending on what those clouds allow. Green River, Moab, Hanksville, 90s, way above average, all through northern Utah. And we're going to hold on to those 90s for the next several hours. Mostly clear skies, becoming partly cloudy, so increasing cloud cover as we head into the overnight. By ABC4 News at 10, very mild. You know what's interesting is that the high pressure will keep these temperatures high, but also allow for storms to sneak in as we get moisture under the ridge. The heat risk today, most of the state facing that major risk in red. Into tomorrow, it builds even higher. It escalates to that extreme category for Washington County, St. George, Hurricane, all the way up to the Iron and Washington County line, places like New Harmony, Canaryville. Really high heat. Average in St. George is 99. Tomorrow, they could push 108, which is why a extreme heat warning has been issued. This was a watch 24 hours ago. It has evolved into a warning and goes into effect at noon and will hold until Friday night at 9 p.m. Storm threat expands tomorrow, so it's not just the heat that's rising. The threat for some storms out there for our Thursday. You can see a bulk of the Beehive State with a general thunderstorm threat. While they could start as dry thunderstorms, our moisture profile increases, and so we are talking about some wetting rains by late Thursday and into Friday. Here we are tonight with a few pop-ups in the West Desert, maybe a shower or two in the morning. Southwestern Wyoming and Cache Valley. Here we go into the afternoon and evening from the Uintas to south central Utah over the mountains, and then again West Desert. West Desert development will keep things interesting. We get a wind shift here. Here we are by Thursday evening, and we watch as those storms impact central Utah. We set the stage for Friday, which looks a little more scattered, especially in northeastern Utah. This is when we're going to see rain. By 10 p.m., the southwestern corner of the state will see a few storms. Forewarning you now, we could see a repeat of what we dealt with last week with heavy downpours and some lightning in places like St. George and Cedar City. Possible flash flooding Thursday. Forewarning you, the Swell, Capitol Reef, Natural Bridges, Lake Powell, Bryce Canyon, Zion. If you have outdoor recreation plans, you have to plan accordingly because it's just not going to be safe to go. This ridge of high pressure sets up clockwise flow, allowing that moisture to advect into Utah, and it continues to do that Thursday, Friday, into your weekend. And with this setup, which is a solid setup, we see the come into early next week. We're talking about really active conditions with strong storms Monday and Tuesday. You just saw those numbers for tomorrow. Looking at the next 7 days here, we've got hot, high heat. Now, cloud cover could manage those temperatures a little bit. Eventually, they're going to ease, but isolated to scattered storms through the middle of next week. Well, that doesn't seem like what we've been doing. Who's changed the game on us?
What is this?
I know. The Wasatch Front easing on temperatures with more cloud cover and the threat of storms. It's been a while, but hello, old friend. Rain, thunderstorms, welcome back.